Greetings, I'm Rick Dressen, Superintendent of Edina Public Schools, providing you an overview of the May 5, 2015 building referendum and its alignment to our strategic plan. As the district began its strategic planning process, facilities was always part of the discussion. And in August of 2014, a 24-member community and staff task force assembled to take a look at the strategic plan, the facility needs of the district, and the potential funding available based on community survey. The task force completed its work in October, and from October through December, the school board continued to get input from staff and community members until they had a final facility plan on January 12, 2015, calling for a May 5th referendum. This referendum has three major focus areas, very similar to referendums that were pursued and approved by the community in the early 1990s and 2000, focusing on security, infrastructure, and learning spaces. As we look at security, we want to make sure we have secure entrances, as well as providing additional enhancements in the areas of communications, cameras, and lockdown zones. These complement the training we provide our teachers and students, as well as the close partnership we have with the emergency team of the City of Edina. Infrastructure is another important part of this referendum. As we look at this infrastructure, we're focusing on our outdoor learning areas, playgrounds, athletic spaces, providing turf fields both at our east and west campuses, as well as addressing the needs of our transportation facilities. The facilities are too small for our current fleet and no longer meet the needs of our bus services. We'll also be looking at our next generation learning spaces, touching all 10 programs. We are one of the few school districts nationally that are taking this bold venture, making sure that all of our learning spaces are enhanced to meet the learning needs of our students and our staff. When we talk about new learning spaces, we're really taking a look at how we now serve our students. Direct instruction, that classroom space, will continue to be critical, and we'll be updating our furniture. We also want to provide individual breakout spaces for our students, as well as small group problem-solving areas, another great way our students do the learning, as well as large group or forum spaces where students can gather with teachers in larger groups to continue to advance their learning in new and creative ways. As we look at this space, we can see what other schools have done, taking corridors, opening them up to create different types of learning spaces. Again, this is not necessarily what Edina will do, but if you go to our website, you can see other examples of what schools have done to creatively address the needs of today's learners with facilities that were built for previous learning styles. Our early childhood program will expand our 3- and 4-year-old programming and complement our current partnerships with preschool programs in the area. This will take place on the first floor of the Edina Community Center. It'll be a great asset for our community to be able to ensure that all students will be ready for kindergarten with preschool programming. Our elementary schools, which really have not had enhancements to their spaces since they were built in the 1950s and 60s, will again take a look at how we teach today and how we can improve those spaces. The middle schools will also have a refresh. As our middle schools move to a 6-8 middle school experience, we want to make sure we have student-centered learning spaces. Again, a variety of learning types of spaces that students can take advantage of and make sure that they are getting the best spaces for the learning that's occurring in our middle school programming. This will provide additional learning spaces for our STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, other types of learning labs, and student common areas. Our high school will take on the largest improvements as we grow our high school from a 10-12 to a 9-12 program. Approximately 30 additional classroom spaces will be added. What's great about this is we'll be able to align our class spaces to the programming that we'll be designing for this 9-12 high school. Again, we're looking at a variety of spaces, including making sure that we have the necessary spaces. One of the areas is to advance and expand our gymnasium spaces for our fitness, wellness, and our athletic programming. Fabrication labs and other large group spaces will also be part of this, but classroom spaces will be necessary for this 9-12 learning experience. As we look at our high school, you can see some possible renderings of where those school additions would be placed. We know that the types of spaces are needed for a 912 program given the student population we have, the programs that we now offer. And you can see, just taking a look at this, where those additions could possibly occur. Here's a look back from the north side where you can see the gymnasium space was actually built into the hill and have a tunnel connecting gymnasiums to the main campus of the high school. This is an aerial view, again showing where we could potentially have the additions, where the turf fields would be located. There would be a service road coming down to access those fields, and then we'd be adding some parking spaces on the north side. The impact to the taxpayer on an average home will be $331 a year. We recognize this to be a major commitment, but it is a time where our tax capacities have grown and interest rates are low, so we do feel it's a beneficial time if we're going to take this effort going forward to call for the vote on May 5th. We'll continue to provide additional information to the community throughout April. There'll be a variety of opportunities to learn more. The district is providing various referendum sessions as well as lots of information on our website and direct mailings. Absentee votes started March 20th. The referendum will be occurring on May 5th, and then once the referendum is decided, if it is approved, then the design work will begin, where the architects will begin working with staff members as well as community on the exact design of our buildings. At this point, we have only renderings, as that's the way public education does do its work. We would expect bids to be opened in the winter of 2016, with construction beginning the summer of 2016. For more information, please go to our website, watch for direct mailings, or attend one of our public forums. Thanks very much. If you have additional questions, I'd encourage you to go to our website.